Hello everyone, this is the recording for week 2 for IS160. This week the reading is Chapter 2, Formulas, Functions, and Formatting, and Chapter 3, Working with Large Worksheets, Charting, and What-If Analysis. The Unit 2 discussion, you're to discuss when and how to use a what-if analysis, explain what you need to use a relative reference when you need to use a relative reference instead of an absolute reference in a formula. So there's basically two parts, what-if analysis and the relative and absolute references. You need at least 100 words and at least one APA reference, and that includes in-text citation. The initial is due Wednesday, and 2 replies are due by Sunday. The week 2 assignment 1, you're to do an analyze energy consumption. Excuse me. So you're provided with a table that shows cost per hour and hours used. If you get, when you create your formula over here in this box here where it says total cost per month, and you get a value, you know that there's something wrong with your numbers. So if you look at this number, you'll see it has a space before. And then some numbers, like this one, has a space after. And Excel does not treat those as numbers, and therefore they turn out wrong. So you're going to figure out all of these formulas, and you must use a formula here. Don't just add it on a calculator and put the number there. You need to create the formula to add the total cost per month. Now you're to change two things. So when I did mine, I chose and put CPAP in there. Oh, I forgot to write anything in there. And then maybe something else that I use that isn't on there. And then I might change the cost per hour or the hourly use. So you need to change two things at least. And then you're going to total costs per day, per month, and then you're going to total everything. And make sure you format these for the ones that are currency, that you format them to currency. To do that, you just right click. You can highlight all of them. Right click, go to Format Cells, and go to Currency. And then if you want decimal places, this one has 3. We can change it to 2. And the reason I did it with 3 is because some of the numbers had 3 decimal points. So you know it's dollars, and you know the total here is dollars. These are hours, so you just format those as numbers, same way. Then you're going to have a formula here in each one. You don't want to just do it on a calculator and write the number in. That doesn't count. Then on sheet 2, you can answer the questions. Did you neglect any appliances? How did you determine the cost to use in your calculations? So that's part assignment 1. Then assignment 2 is due Sunday also. You're to create your sales projection worksheet and fill in the calculations. So I created the table, filled in the parts that they gave you. So the assumptions are what's below this line. The prior year's sales. Your annual growth is an assumption. You don't know how it's going to be coming up, but those are the assumptions. And then you're going to fill in the calculations for each one, and you're going to fill in the formulas for the totals. Now, after you've got it all figured out, if you have these pound signs, all it means is that the cell was too narrow to display the whole number, and you just widen the cell, widen the column, and it'll show your numbers. Now I named mine sales projection worksheet on the one. This one is a copy, but just to show you that I did two. And the reason that I did two is because you have to do a goal seek. So I think the next thing it wants us to do is a 3D chart, and you're to illustrate the contribution of each year's gross margin to the total gross margin. So if we look at our table, it wants the gross margin in relationship to the total. So if you're going to highlight those and then insert your table, your chart, and that basically shows you the total in relationship to the gross margin. And you can put a label in there like gross margin, total gross margin to gross margin, whatever. Then to do the goal seek, you're going to highlight the number that it's wanting. So for the all right, let's go back and see. Oh, okay, it wants the total gross margin of $75,000. And so you're going to highlight that. So the total gross margin, you want it to be higher than this. So you're going to go to the Data tab, choose under What If Analysis your goals seek. So now you have the cell filled in. You want to put the value that you want it to get to. So 750,000. And you want to put in the cell that you're going to change. And it says that it's determine the year 3 annual growth rate that will generate. So then you go to year 3, the annual growth rate. You're going to say okay, and you see it fills it in for what you need. And there's your total gross margin. Did I put it in there right? Oops, not enough zeros. So let's go back. Get out of the way. Okay, so it's the total. And we're going to go back to the data file, go to goals seek. And it's 7, 5, 2, 3. Now I think it's right. Yeah. So in other words, for year 3, you've got to have 1.14% in order to get the right amount. So I didn't put enough zeros in there. And the reason I want you to do it on a different sheet is when you say okay, then you see that it's changed it and it's different. If you just turn in this, you won't get credit for the first part because it won't be the correct answers. So you need to do 2 separate ones so that I can see you did it right to begin with, and then you did the goals seek. And I kind of told you how to do that here. That's all. There's 2 assignments, and that's all for this time. If you have any questions, please let me know.